Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Superman, Earth's mightiest hero, who possesses incredible super strength with his invulnerable body and indestructible super costume. All know of his amazing supervision, which can see through solid walls, magnify distant objects, and melt steel. But just who is Superman? Where did he come from? How did the Man of Steel reach Earth and acquire his fantastic superpowers? It is a strange story that begins many years ago, far away from Earth. In trackless outer space, there once existed Krypton, a planet of giant size, revolving around a red sun. Its people, possessed of high intelligence, had built a super scientific civilization far beyond that of Earth. Robots performed all labor.
Jor-El, please set the electronic watchdog, and I'll wind the mechanical maid to do all the housework before we wake in the morning.
Strange creatures worked at Krypton construction sites.
Engineer, I hope these new improved robots will be able to build this 1-mile bridge in 8 hours, not 10 like last year's robots.
One fateful day, ominous tremors shook the planet.
A Krypton quake. Our buildings are swaying.
Oh, I hope it will stop soon.
But the quakes increased daily. And finally, at the Krypton Council of Scientists, one member pronounced shocking words.
Yes, gentlemen. My instruments show that Krypton's core of radioactive uranium is unstable. Soon, our planet will explode.
You are mad, Jor-El. You know that we of the Council have absolute faith in our cosmic clock. The supercomputer in the clock has predicted that our world will be safe from all disasters for endless years.
The clock is wrong. I tell you, Krypton is doomed. We must build rocket-driven space arcs to save our people, and we must...
Robot guards, remove him from the Council. You've been reading science fiction tales, Jor-El. Until you clear your thinking, you are dismissed from our Council.
Scorned by his fellow scientists, the bitter Jor-El returned to his home with his wife Lara and baby Kal-El.
No one believes my warning, Lara. But I know I'm right. If no space arcs are built, we'll all die.
But you've been experimenting with small space rockets. Couldn't you...
Yes, they will work, but they're too small to hold adults. I'd need help to build larger rockets. I have only these 2 rockets left, but at least they will save our baby if no one else. I'll use our dog Krypto for the last test flight today.
Hush, Kal-El. Krypto will return safely.
But their dog, Krypto, did not return. By cosmic mischance, a meteor struck the test rocket, causing it to drift far into space, out of orbit. Even Jor-El did not know that years later, this rocket would drift to Earth. But with time against him, Jor-El worked feverishly to complete the last small rocket. With barely hours to spare, the sad couple placed their infant son inside the capsule.
It's ready for launching, Lara. Stand back.
Oh, Kal-El.
Lara.
My baby.
Please, Lara. I've aimed the rocket toward a living planet I discovered in my telescope. Our son will be able to live in its atmosphere.
Goodbye, my baby. Good luck.
The couple watched the tiny rocket as it sped aloft, up into space beyond their doomed planet. Short moments later, Jor-El's tragic prediction came true. In a cosmic burst of light, the giant planet Krypton exploded into 1,000,000 fragments. The fragments of the planet, flung out into the universe, scattered in all directions. Later, they became known as the green substance kryptonite, the only substance able to affect Superman's powers. Time passed. As the tiny rocket neared its destination, the living planet, Earth. Upon landing, the rocket's impact tossed the baby Kal-El safely out and away from the rocket. For a moment later, as planned by Jor-El, the explosion of its super fuel destroyed the rocket itself. But the baby Kal-El was unharmed. Found and adopted by a childless couple, the Kents, who named him Clark Kent, the baby soon displayed amazing feats of strength. For, as it was later proved, all people and things from Krypton became invulnerable and super powerful on Earth. Realizing that his secret must be kept from the world, the Kents raised the super baby to Superboy and taught him to use his great powers to fight crime and aid humanity. The rest is history. As Clark Kent, now grown to manhood, in his guise of a reporter for the Daily Planet, he is able to fight evil in his true identity as Superman. And every day, as the citizens of Metropolis look up in never-ceasing awe, as a flying figure flashes by, a familiar cry often rings out.
Look, up in the sky. It's a bird.
It's a plane.
No, it's Superman. Up, up, and away! Yes, all the world knows of Superman's amazing feats. But many have never heard the story of Superman's first adventure. In June 1938, the very first story ever published about Superman appeared in Action Comics #1. Here then, from this very first historic issue, the complete story of Superman's first adventure. Telegraph lines broadcast to the world news of a terrible disaster. The Valley Ho Dam is cracking under the strain of a huge downpour. Should it give way, a mountain of water will sweep down the valley, killing thousands and destroying the fertile land. In the office of the Daily Planet,
Kent, get me Clark Kent.
Oh, he isn't in the office.
Well, look for him, Lois, and have him report to me before I lose my mind.
Why not have me handle the assignment?
Can't. It's too important. This is no job for a girl.
Oh, no job for a woman. I've half a mind to...
Lois encounters Clark outside the newspaper office.
Oh, Clark Kent. You're just the man I'm looking for.
You mean you're actually glad to see me?
I should say I am. Would you do me a favor and cover an assignment for me?
Would I? You know I'd do anything for you.
Good. Go to the city hospital's maternity ward. Mrs. Mahoney is expecting sextuplets.
What a story. Thanks, Lois. You're a peach to let me handle this.
Later,
One round-trip ticket to Valley Ho, please.
at the city hospital, Clark Kent learns that no Mrs. Mahoney is registered there.
That's strange. Say, I wonder if Lois is by any chance pulling a double cross. I'd better get right back to the office.
You brainless idiots. Greatest news story in months on the fire, and you waste your time at a hospital.
But Chief, I
The
didn't know
worst
that-
part of it is that the last train for Valley Ho has already left. Kent, report to the cashier. You're fired.
But Kent has other plans. When alone, he strips off his outer garments and stands revealed in the Superman costume.
Now, to get that story.
From atop the great Daily Planet building, a weird figure leaps out into the night. Huge distances are swiftly covered by it with giant leaps.
Looks like a train headed for Valley Ho. Well, hello, train, and goodbye! If Lois thinks she's going to scoop me, she's badly mistaken.
With the speed of light, he reaches the railroad trestle.
What the?
A torrent has loosened the bridge's supports, causing the tracks to tilt, making a wreck inevitable. The warning whistle of the approaching train is heard. Without a moment's hesitation, the cloaked figure mounts a peak of the rocks and dives forward.
No time to lose.
Seizing the bridge's supports, Superman presses up, until the tracks level. Superman holds the bridge rigid until the train passes over. After which he permits it to crash. Lois, among other passengers, rushes to the windows.
What was that?
The bridge collapsed. An instant earlier, and we'd have been killed.
At the next junction, send a warning that the bridge is out. We must warn the other trains.
When Valley Ho is reached, Lois fights her way through the mob at the station.
It looks like everyone except me is trying to get away. Taxi! Oh, will you give me a lift to the dam?
You can have the car, lady. I'm taking a train out of here.
Lois drives the taxi at top speed. The dam is not far distant. Atop the dam, Superman has been battling like mad to keep it from breaking.
If I can only hold out a little longer, most of the people hereabouts will have cleared out. It's beginning to give.
Suddenly, with a great roar, the huge dam collapses. Superman leaps above the water's turbulent fury. But Lois finds herself directly in the path of the great, irresistible flood of onrushing water.
Oh, the dam is gone. I haven't a chance.
A car in the flood's path with a girl inside. I've got to save her.
But before Superman can reach the auto, it is caught up and swept along by the flood. Trapped within the car, Lois appears doomed to a watery death. Superman, upon reaching it, tears the auto apart and rises with Lois in his arms toward the water's surface. Powerful strokes bring them to shore. Instantly, Superman is off like a shot, racing the flood. He catches up with its beginning and passes it. It is a fantastic race, with the lives of thousands at stake, with Superman in the lead. Ahead of the raging, rushing torrent, he springs to a high pinnacle. Then pits his tremendous strength against a great projection of rock. Before Superman's weight, the huge mountain peak cracks and cascades downward in the face of the flood. The avalanche of rock crams shut the mountain gap below, cutting off, diverting the flood to another direction, away from Valley Ho town.
Phew! Barely in time.
Oh, you did it. You saved all those people. Oh, I could just kiss you. As a matter of fact, I will.
Please. Wow! What a kiss!
A super kiss for a Superman.
Suddenly, sweeping Lois off her feet, Superman leaps outward.
Enough of that. I've got to bring you back to safety, where I'll be safe from you.
The first time you carried me like this, I was frightened. Just as I was frightened of you. But how I love it. Just as I love you.
When Valley Ho town is reached...
Oh, don't go. Stay with me, always.
Perhaps we'll meet again!
Later...
Hello, Chief. This is Clark Kent calling from Valley Ho. Yeah, I got here by airplane and have some sensational news. Am I rehired? Okay, connect me with a rewrite man.
As Clark leaves the phone booth, he encounters...
Lois. That wasn't a nice stunt you pulled on me. But I still like you.
Oh, who cares? The spineless worm. I can hardly bear looking at him after having been in the arms of a real He-Man.
Years ago, when young Clark Kent lived in Smallville with his foster parents, Jonathan and Martha Kent, he began his early crime-fighting career in his secret identity of Superboy. And like all boys, there were occasions when young Clark was disobedient. But how do you punish a super bad boy? What happened when the boy of steel became a brat of steel? Listen to The Punishment of Superboy. It began one day in Smallville when Superboy was flying home from a patrol of the city.
Hi, Dad. Just finished my patrol over the town. All's well.
Good, son. Then you can do your home chores now. The woodpile needs chopping first, son. Of course, you can't use your superpowers without exposing your secret identity. People can see into our backyard.
Oh, gee, Dad. Why can't I do it after dark using my super speed? Don't forget I don't have to work like ordinary boys. I'm Superboy.
Superboy or not, you must learn to obey your elders.
Easy, Jonathan. Now, don't be upset. All growing boys act stubborn at times. Clark will grow out of it in time.
He might grow into a bad boy if he isn't trained to respect his parents, Martha. Now, for the last time, Clark, will you chop that wood now?
No, Dad. I love you and Mom dearly, but it's silly for me to chop wood like an ordinary farm boy. It's such a waste of my time.
Still disobedient, eh? Into the woodshed, young man.
No!
I'm sorry, but you're going to have to be punished. Seems to be the only way you'll ever learn.
But for Dad Kent, that was easier said than done. Taking the disobedient boy over his knee.
This will hurt me more than you, son.
Ow! Dad, I'm the invulnerable boy of steel, remember? You can't punish me by giving me a spanking.
All right. But you still have to be taught a lesson. You'll go to bed tonight without supper.
Oh, but that's no punishment, Dad. I can go without food indefinitely.
Yes, I forgot that. Yes. Well, then I'll take away your radio. You can't listen to the baseball game that's on now.
Oh, but Dad, you know I can simply pick up the announcer's voice directly with my super hearing. Let's see. Mel Hubble just hit a homer, tying up the game. The score is 3-3. They're taking the pitcher out.
Oh, never mind the details, brat. Depriving you of your radio is useless. Well, tonight I'm taking your mother to the movies. As punishment, you're not going with us. You're staying home.
But later, when Dad and Mom Kent returned home from the movie, young Clark greets them at the door.
Hi, Dad, Mom. Boy, wasn't it exciting when Henry Taylor held off the invading army with only 10 men.
Well, how did you know? Oh, no. You used your telescopic vision to watch the movie. How could I forget that?
Oh, Jonathan, even if our son disobeyed you, how can you punish him when he has superpowers? Give up, dear.
No, Martha. Like all other growing boys, it's important for Superboy to be molded the right way, or he might turn into a super bad boy. It's a terrible problem, but somehow I must think of a way to punish Superboy for his disobedience.
Next day, Dad Kent finally saw his chance when...
Dad, what are you doing? As Superboy, I'm supposed to be umpire at the championship marble matches. I'm due there now.
I'm shutting the window and the door. I must lock you in your room, son, to punish you by making you miss the big event that you've always attended before.
But, Dad...
Not to use any super tricks this time. I forbid you to melt the window glass with your heat vision or smash through the door or the walls, you understand? Now, that should take care of everything.
Not quite. Dad didn't say anything about Krypto, my super dog. I'll wait until Dad's gone downstairs. Now, I'll give the super whistle that only Krypto can hear. Good, he heard me. Krypto, the key in the door lock. Get the key out. Attaboy, Krypto. Now, push the key under the door with your nose. Attaboy, Krypto. Good dog.
Later, as Dad and Mom Kent passed the area where the marble tournament was being held...
Ladies and gentlemen, in between rounds, Superboy, our umpire, will entertain you by knocking 12 marbles out at once with one shot. Now,
Martha, did you hear that? Somehow he outwitted me again. Superboy got out of the house. Well, that does it. There's only one thing left to do. I hate to use it on the boy, but...
Oh, now wait, Jonathan. I'm sure Clark didn't violate any of the orders you gave him. He must have found another way to get out.
But don't you see, Martha? It doesn't matter how he tricked me. It's the principle that counts. Even you don't seem to understand just how important it is for Clark's future that I win this battle.
When Superboy returned home, his father listened silently to his explanation of how he got out of the room. And then he was sent back upstairs again to finish his homework. Later, young Clark heard his parents' angry voices from the floor below.
I give up, Martha. He's too much for me. It's really your fault we can't handle him. You've spoiled him.
Now, don't shift the blame on me, Jonathan. He's just as much your son, too.
Oh, my gosh, Mom and Dad are quarreling over me.
Well, that does it. I'm moving out, Martha.
Oh.
And leaving that super brat in your hands. You can raise him from now on. I don't want any part of him.
That's what you think. I'm going to my sister's. Clark can just take care of himself from now on.
Mom! Dad! Wait! Gosh, they both left. I'm all alone now. Well, I love them more than anything in the world, but now our happy home is broken up, and it's all my fault for being so stubborn. I made a fool of Dad when he tried to punish me. Oh, if only they'd come back, I'd never be a bad boy again.
Son,
Clark.
Mom! Dad, you're back!
we never really left, son. We were waiting outside. You see, your mother and I planned that fake quarrel to bring you to your senses. It was the only way we could punish our super son.
You sure did. You found my one vulnerable spot. My love for both of you. I've learned my lesson.
I'm so glad, son. We did it all for your own good.
Son, I hope you realize now that all boys, even Superboy, need the firm guidance of their parents to learn right from wrong.
Yes, Dad, I do. In fact, I think I'll go out in the yard right now and start chopping that wood. The hard way.
What would happen if Superman were president? If your imagination falls short, ask Jimmy Olsen, who gets a peek into the future when America's chief executive is the Man of Steel. With Superman in the White House, startling events take place. Hear what happens now when Superman becomes president of the United States of America. In Metropolis, at the Daily Planet offices one day, managing editor Perry White calls in his reporters.
All right, now, for our special 4th of July issue next week, we're going to have some little-known stories about famous presidents.
Good idea, Perry. Which ones?
Kent, you take George Washington. Lois Lane will handle Abraham Lincoln.
Well, what about me, Chief?
Well, why don't you choose one yourself, Olson? There are plenty of other presidents to choose from. You pick one and tell me after lunch. I'm going out now.
Gee, which one should I use? Jefferson? Grant? Roosevelt?
Whoop! Look out, Olson! Watch where you're going. I almost knocked that picture of Superman off my wall. Now straighten it out. Watch out!
Jimmy, the picture's going to fall.
Oh.
It fell on his head, Chief. It knocked him out.
Well, don't just stand there. Get the nurse on the phone. Fix up his head. And fix my picture, too, while you're at it.
As Jimmy blacks out from the blow on his head, the last sight in his mind, the picture of Superman, begins to grow in his unconscious thoughts.
Superman. Presidents. Superman. President.
As the dream grows in Jimmy's mind, he sees a vast crowd with banners.
President Superman. Why not? What a story. Our future president, Superman.
In his dream, Jimmy sees an incredible election. And with almost 90% of the results tabulated, it's a landslide for Superman. He's been elected president by the largest popular vote in history. As the dream continues, Jimmy attends President Superman's first press conference.
Gentlemen, and ladies of the press. You know, there's a famous saying that everyone talks about the weather, but nobody does anything about it. Well, in line with the campaign promise I made, this administration will make certain that no more natural weather disasters, such as hurricanes or tornadoes, will ever again strike the United States.
But, Mr. President, how will you accomplish that?
I've set up a 24-hour alert with the U.S. Weather Bureau direct to my office here. As soon as they spot any natural disturbance, I will fly to the scene and using superpower, I will blow it far out to sea or into the upper atmosphere, where it will cause no damage. Also, there will be no more drought. Wherever rain is needed, I will create a low-pressure system and bring rain clouds right over the area where water is needed. And now my very first presidential appointment. I am naming James Olson as my personal press secretary, and I'd like you all to meet him.
Mr. President, isn't he rather young for such an important post?
Young in years, perhaps, but not in experience, courage, and integrity.
Gosh, Mr. President, I'd certainly love to take the job. Golly, my office here in the White House is sure impressive. Hey, I think I'll look in and see how the president is doing.
Hey, I'm finished with these papers. Send in some more.
Why, my first press release will tell how President Superman reads and signs official documents at super speed, keeping dozens of clerks busy.
That's all for today, huh? Fine. Don't leave that window open. I'm flying over to the Pentagon.
Wait, clear Secret Service guards!
Oh, gosh. How can we follow him?
What does Superman need guards for anyway? Who could hurt him?
Yeah, our jobs have become useless. This president will never need any bodyguards.
Now, wait a minute, men, you are needed. There is one thing that can be dangerous, even to Superman. It's kryptonite.
Hey, he's right.
Now, whenever there's a public ceremony that President Superman attends, the Secret Service will have to screen everyone who might come near the president and search all areas near him to make sure that there is no kryptonite smuggled in.
That is true. Kryptonite is the one substance that could harm Superman.
Meanwhile, in the Daily Planet office, Clark Kent has helped the unconscious Jimmy onto a couch.
The nurse said he'll be okay in a few minutes, Lois. So let's keep an eye on him.
President Superman, foreign diplomats have arrived.
Listen to that. He's dreaming.
President Superman, it's time for your press conference.
It seems Jimmy's dream has connected that Superman picture with his assignment. He's dreaming that Superman is president. But he can never write that story. It's impossible for Superman ever to be the chief executive of the United States.
Can you guess why Clark Kent is so positive that Jimmy's dream could never come true? For it is impossible. Meanwhile, Jimmy's dream continues as Superman carries the giant presidential jet plane in the air.
I don't need a plane to get to a UN conference in New York, but my staff does. So I'll just give it a super push and save fuel. We must economize. Up, up, and away!
Soon another time-honored presidential duty comes up.
It's the opening game of the baseball season, Superman. As president, it's your honor to throw out the first ball.
Right. Here goes.
Look, President Superman threw the ball clear out of the park and high into space. Where's it going?
The speeding baseball, flung by the mighty arm of Superman, circles high above the earth, out over the ocean, to the other side of the globe. It lands at another baseball stadium in Tokyo, Japan, at a night ball game.
President Superman in Washington, D.C. has thrown first ball to open honorable game here in Tokyo Stadium. Banzai for President Superman! Banzai! Banzai! Banzai!
Back at the stadium in Washington,
That was a great idea, Superman. We just got word that they received your pitch in Tokyo.
Nothing like improving our foreign relations, Jimmy. Baseball is an international sport nowadays.
Right. Now, throw the first ball in this park, Superman.
as president, Superman is confronted with some super problems also.
Superman, look at this report. We'll have to give the public some bad news. The national budget has a deficit of almost $10 billion.
Is that all? Hold your press report until I return, Jimmy. Up and away! First, I'll get all the gold out of those old buried pirate ships I spotted on the ocean floor. Then off to outer space, where I discovered a layer of natural diamonds on a distant planet. Then I'll have enough to return to Fort Knox.
With Superman on the job, Jimmy is able to release a report that turns bad news to good.
All right, men, here's your lead story. President Superman wipes out national debt. He balanced the budget with one hand. President Superman, here's the latest disaster alert from the Weather Bureau. The Mississippi River has risen again. It'll reach flood proportions in a few hours. They want your help. And they want you to take a look at those forest fires in California. They're getting out of control.
Right, Jimmy. Cancel all my appointments for the next 2 hours. The Mississippi River is dangerously high. It's about to crest. No time to divert the flood. I'll have to create a tornado. A helpful one this time, to suck up all that excess water. Now, I'll spin my body at super speed, causing a vacuum in the air. Good. I've created a giant tornado. Now, I'll let it suck up the excess flood water. The river is down to a safe level. Now, what to do with that tornado? Wait, those fires in California. I'll blow that tornado right over the fire area. Up, and away! There's the fire below. Now to release the water where it will do the most good, extinguishing that blaze.
Jimmy's dream, our nation finds a new security in Superman's mighty hands. And the grateful country showers Superman with honors and tributes. Superman's picture appears on our postage stamps, on our currency. His likeness is carved on Mount Rushmore.
President Superman, time for your cabinet meeting.
Jimmy?
Huh?
Jimmy, can you hear me? Are you all right?
Clark, what? Whew.
That blow on the head knocked you out. You must be dreaming.
Yeah, but... Wow, what a story I thought of for my presidential article. I can prove that if Superman were ever elected, he'd become one of our most honored presidents. Oh, let me up. I gotta start writing.
Don't waste your time, Jimmy. Superman could never become president.
But why not?
Jimmy, if you remember the Constitution of the United States, you'll find a provision which states that only native-born Americans can ever become president.
Oh, no, that's right. And Superman was born on the planet Krypton. Oh, how could I have forgotten? Everyone knows that he'd be ineligible to become president.
Well, even if Superman could never be president, you could, Jimmy.
Me? President? Hey, that'd really be a story. Oh, boy. I think you'd better hit me on the head again, Clark.